Good evening, everyone. Welcome out once again to Vicious Rants. And of course, I'm your host, your YouTuber, sign off and imitate, never duplicated superstar Tim Vicious. And talking about Raw this week was in San Jose, California. Now, before we do get into it, do gotta address the Super Showdown, Saudi Arabia. Two things. One, that I kind of chuckled at, the fuck knuckle Meltzer. He wound up saying, oh, well, the pay-per-view was non-canon compared to their other ones. So, so the stuff that happened on there wouldn't normally happen on other ones, on other shows. Like, seriously, dude? Honestly, at this point, Meltzer is a shell of an asshole that he was before, which is saying something. But, just, Also, if it was non-canon, why the hell would they bring it up on the damn show? I mean, that's like saying, that would be like, okay, I'm gonna put it in anime perspective, because outside of wrestling, I'm a fucking anime junkie. That's like saying, I'd be like saying, in Dragon Ball Z, they acknowledge the shit that happened in Dragon Ball GT. When, you know, GT is non-canon. Yeah, that's basically it. Yeah. So yeah, other than that, really, with the Saudi show, there were only two good matches, to be honest. Balor and Almas, which... Speaking of Andrade, you know, all of us here at the Vicious Studios, condolences to Almas for his mother passing recently. As well as the other match that was probably best match of the night, Triple H, Randy Orton, because just the amount of storytelling that those guys did, you know, that they did in their match. It was just really great seeing it. That was the thing that I loved. You know? So yeah, Raw this week, San Jose, let's get the show started. It starts off with Seth Rollins coming down, highlighting on how he went into Jeddah as the Universal Champion. He came out of Jeddah as the Universal Champion. And also, while over there, when Brock was in the midst of going to cash in, my savior Paul Heyman tripped over the ropes, made Brock lose focus for a minute, which then gave Seth the chance to get him, boom, right in the ding-ding, and then Seth proceeded to beat the ungodly shit out of him with a chair, curb stomp. Yeah. Seth wound up cutting a promo at the start of the show for Raw, saying on how he's the best wrestler. You know, there's nobody on the planet that can touch him. Whether it's in the ring, in a wrestling match, a technical match, a fight, whatever. He's the best out there. And, you know, I'm not going to get into a debate saying, well, this guy's better. No, this guy's better. Because everyone has their particular style and everyone has their particular favorites. But I will say this. One match that I would like to see, Seth Rollins, Kenny Omega, and Jay Lethal. That would be a match I'd like to see. So, either way, Seth's out there. He's highlighting on how he beat Corbin and how he beat Brock, and on how he'll take out anyone that gets in his way. And then Corbin comes out, boasts about on how he's got a match coming up in 2 weeks at Stomping Grounds, and then says that, you know, he pulled some strings and he now is going to be able to have a special referee. No word on who it is yet. So, in all likelihood, my personal guess, Heyman or Brock. That would probably make the most sense, because you could have either one of them distract Seth long enough for them to have the inevitable cash in. But either way, Corbin's doing that, blowing smoke up his own ass, And then Sami Zayn comes out. Sami comes out, winds up saying, "Now, I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I am on Team Corbin." And starts going on about on how Seth has been throwing out toxic masculinity and all that since he's won the title. And, you know, on how he doesn't deserve to have the title. You know, somebody like Corbin should be the true champion. And then, you know, Seth, he goes, throws some shots at Sami, and then out comes Owens. And Owens winds up saying, "I've had this man's back for forever. He's my best friend. You don't get to mess with him." You know, and I'm paraphrasing, mind you. Wound up saying, "You don't get to mess with him. I'll go out there and I'll kick your ass." Seth wound up basically saying, "Well, how about this? Tonight, you, me, one-on-one, we close this show out, main event." So, yeah. So, now we get to the first match of the night. Lars Sullivan against the Lucha House Party in a 3-on-1 handicap match, but it's also elimination. You know, I'm torn. On one hand, it's Lars Sullivan. But on the other, I also can't stand Lucha House Party. So it's like choosing which way would you prefer to go. Arsenic or, like, which way would you prefer to go? Arsenic or electrocution? Like, so yeah, basically Sullivan, he wiped the floor with Kalisto and Lance Dorado. Next thing you know, once he got his hands on Graham Metalik, he wound up, instead of just destroying him right away, toying with him. And you can see what they're obviously doing with him. They're building him up to be a big monster. A big, nasty, ugly monster. And that's understandable. You know, given the guy's size, his build, and his look. He looks like an ugly monster. So make him be an ugly monster. And, you know, it makes sense. Now, match wound up coming to an end when Sullivan finally put an end to Graham Metalik. He wound up using a diving headbutt, which, man, this isn't even about Benoit, but headbutts scared the ungodly hell out of me. Just because of everything we know now about concussions, brain trauma, brain damage and all. You know? And I use this example every time I talk about concussions and head issues. You know, and somebody's brain's getting turned into scrambled eggs. But fucking Shibata in New Japan. Match against Okada. He headbutted Okada so hard he gave himself a fucking subdural hematoma. For crying out loud. That's why headbutts scare the ungodly hell out of me. I don't care if it's a working headbutt or a shoot headbutt. It's a fucking headbutt nonetheless. You know? And I've thrown out plenty of them in fist fights and bar fights, man. You know, you feel that shit the next day when the adrenaline comes down. Just, headbutts scare the shit out of me because anytime I see somebody do it, I just think, oh man, I hope they don't make that a long-lasting move, because the last thing we want is to have this dude have his brains turn to jello 10 years from now. So yeah, either way. Next up, we got a 6-man match, and this came to be because Miz was doing a Miz TV on with Samoa Joe, highlighting on how Joe recently, once again, acquired his coveted United States Championship from Rey Mysterio, who had to vacate it due to a dislocated shoulder. And Miz, he kind of hit the nail on the head, saying, now, you go after Rey. Okay, that's one thing. Go after his son, though. From a family man myself, I can't say I condone that one bit. Joe wound up just pretty much hitting the nail on the head, saying, well, instead of going after Rey's, how about I go after your family? Next thing you know, You just see Miz throw the chair, stand up, and look at him like, motherfucker, you did not just mention my kids. And just as it looks like things are about to heat up, boom, music hits, Braun Strowman comes out, calls out Joe, says, I want a shot at that. And just as he does that, next thing you know, Bobby Lashley comes out, and then Ricochet comes out, emphasizing on how he beat Cesaro and he wants to capitalize on that momentum and get a shot at the title. And then Cesaro comes out and just straight up decks Ricochet and then runs down, and then we get a big brouhaha, and then we go to commercial. We come back, it's a 6-man match. Strowman, Miz, and Ricochet going against Lashley, Joe, and Cesaro. And now, the only issue I can honestly say that I didn't like was right before the big commercial break at the beginning of the match was all the seeing all the faces in the match getting their shit in. It just, I don't know, that always just kind of annoys me because it takes away in the long run, like, oh yeah, watch this guy, he's going to do a big flip. Oh, whoa, look, he just did the flip. Oh, look, this guy, he's going to do a big running charge. Oh, yeah. And, you know, just like, don't make me and sit and be like, okay, now we're going to get this. You know, make me sit there and be like, oh, when are they going to do it? When are they going to do it? And then have it be at a spot you don't expect. But, yeah, after the break, Ricochet was the punching bag. And then Miz wound up taking it for a bit. But Strowman wound up coming in. He got the hot tag, cleaned up house. Ricochet wound up closing out the match. Well, actually, I'm wrong. Ricochet and Miz closed out the match. Miz wound up getting back in there after a bit. Wound up hitting Cesaro with a skull-crushing finale. And then Ricochet did a 630. Not necessarily the nicest of landings because he landed right on Cesaro's hip and his arm, and Cesaro, man, he looked legit hurt. So, hoping he really didn't, because, you know, it's always just seems like with Cesaro, just as he's starting to build some momentum, it's like one step forward, 2 steps back, and I'm really hoping that's not the case here. Next up, we got women's action. Becky Lynch and Bayley going against Alexa Bliss and Lacey Evans, and whew, good God Almighty, I needed them damn heart pills tonight. Whew, good God. Yep. Now, Becky and Bayley, they were leading good, nice and good, right up into the break afterwards. Becky was the team punch bag, which I gotta say it was a nice change of pace because normally in tag matches like this, Bayley is, but she wasn't. You know, it was nice seeing that. Also, really liked on how the hometown crowd was really into Bayley on this one, with, you know, consistently chanting, "We want Bayley, we want Bayley," and actually getting into her, you know. And yeah, I will say this, Lacey Evans, man, this match was a hell of an improvement compared to the match that she had last week, because yeah, that about sums that up. So, match wound up coming to an end. It was Alexa Bliss and Bayley in the ring. Becky Lynch was circling around to go and try and get Lacey. Lacey Evans ran right in front of Nikki Cross to distract her. Now, Nikki was out there to cheer Alexa on. And, you know, I'm not going to lie, I dig this little friendship thing they got going on with Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. You know? And Becky, she just throws Nikki to the side. Next thing you know, Lacey, boom, hits her with a woman's right. Bayley gets thrown into the ropes. Lacey, boom, hits her with a right. Next thing you know, Alexa Bliss, she goes up to the top. As she's up there, Lacey Evans tags. Next thing you know, does Twisted Bliss, gets a kick out. Next thing you know, Lacey comes in, wham, hits another right, gets it 1, 2, 3. That was it. So, that was it. And Really like that nice little slide, low-key, blind tag. Can't even say a blind tag. It was just a, really, you had to watch and see that part to notice it. Excuse me. Next up, we got another women's match. It was a squash one, though. IIconics going against some local hometown jobbers. And, you know, yeah, I can't I really can't complain on this one because I could just I'm not gonna lie, I could sit there and watch Peyton Royce and Billie Kay sit there and read a damn phone book and I'd be perfectly content. Whew, good God Almighty. I swear these women are gonna be the death of me. Next up we got third tag match in a row, so I don't want to hear anyone shitting saying they ain't doing nothing with the tag match, with the tag division right now, given that we just got 3 tag matches, 2 of them were legit ones. We got a triple threat tag match for the Raw tag titles, the Revival, the Usos, Ryder, and Hawkins. Now, what I really dug the hell out of in this was the Revival sneaking in to get their shots in, and triple threat tag match, you know. Now, from a psychology standpoint, for heels, what I think would work best, well, hell, it's no DQ. The only rules that are administered is tags. Okay? I don't have to be in until it's time for me, I don't have to be in during the action. I'll come in and make a tag for the pin. You know? Simple enough. Pick and time your shots, you know? And Revival, they were doing that right at the beginning, you know? They were doing that in the beginning of the match, you know, timing their shots, hitting Ryder and Hawkins, hitting the Usos here and there, spacing their shit out. Really fucking good. Now, Usos, they were leading the match for the most part after the break. Really dug it, which is surprising because it was a match that had Curt Hawkins in it and I actually liked it. But yeah, either way, match came to an end with the Usos doing a splash onto Hawkins. And then next thing you know, actually what happened was just as one of the Usos got up, he wound up doing a super kick party, hitting everyone, then wound up going up to go do a superfly splash. As he went up, just as he was jumping off, Scott Dawson, boom, tags himself in. That was the blind tag. Excuse me. Damn allergies around here at the Vicious Studios. Wound up going in, does a blind tag, throws the Uso out, winds up covering Hawkins, 1, 2, 3. That is it. So now your Revival are now two-time Raw Tag Team Champions. So I don't want to hear anyone say they ain't doing shit with them because they are fucking getting time. They were getting time with the Usos. They are now champions. They're fucking, yep. Here's the thing. As great as all the talent that they got are, not everyone can be on the fucking top. Sometimes guys gotta work their way, or sometimes guys gotta stay where they're at. Some guys fight, you know, some dudes, honestly, gotta scratch, claw, and fight to get to where they're at. That's what it is, plain and simple. Now, that said, let's get to the main event of the night. Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens. Now, there is a twist that occurred earlier in the show. Sami Zayn was appointed the secondary official outside of the ring. So, Sami healing it up, doing great heel referee work, you know, outside the ring, going up on the apron to yell at the ref inside, to, you know, complaining about shit, you know, going in between Seth and Kevin when they're outside, things like that. Really great, really not, you know, really dug the hell out of it. Nice back and forth between these two. I would say this was the match of the night. You know, Owens really liked on how he was focusing on Seth's ribs because that's been an open target on him for the past few weeks. Now, match wound up coming to an end in a DQ. Seth, as he was building a comeback, he did the suicide dive, hit Owens, and clipped Sami in his arm by accident. And Sami got in Seth's face saying, "You can't put your hands on me, I'm the official, you're not allowed to do that shit." And then Seth wound up shoving him. Sami called for the bell, DQ, so your winner via disqualification, Kevin Owens. Afterwards, Corbin came down, Corbin came and got him some. Seth wound up cleaning house, took him out, took Sami out, beat the snot out of Sami, and then stood tall at the end. So, yeah. Honestly, I would say this was a pretty decent show. You know, on a 1 to 10, 6.5. So that is it for this week's show, folks. Do not forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch some of the other episodes. Make sure y'all look for me on my Twitter at Tim Vicious. Do also got another account if I get ghosted or put in Twitter jail, Tim_Vicious. Big thanks to my executive producer, Ali Rewind Ben, for the music for this week's show. Y'all want one of these Ali Rewind shirts? Hit me up, I'll talk to that man for you. Show him some love and support. I am also on that Facebook gimmick, Tim Ash. If you're going to look for me on my Facebook gimmick, make sure you let me know you found me on there from here. Or on my Twitter at Tim Vicious. Leave any interesting thoughts, complaints, grunts, and groans, whatever the hell you want to say down below. Also, do not forget to follow all these cool-ass cats right here on the Twitter. Some Mulligan, Kenny Killer, DSB_IV, Cranky Asshole, Dazzy MWP, and Sergeant Curry Pants. And folks, like I always tell y'all, you love me great, you hate me. Fuck you.